Hello, everyone. Welcome. I need to find the React button. Do I have a React button? I do. It's down there. There we go. Here we have a new supporter, KL. Let's get KL a new supporter dance. Boop 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 boop. Woohoo! Boop 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 boop. Woohoo! Boop 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 boop. Woohoo! Boop 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 boop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. And thank you, KL, for supporting the channel. Welcome. We, just as a background, Mark solved a puzzle that we set on stream. So there'll be a link in the description here to the stream where we set this puzzle. It's on the LMD page as well, if you want. So we spent a stream making this puzzle, and now we're going to watch Mark do it. So it should be fun to see this. Yeah, this is my first Mark feature in a long time. But I love Mark features. I started out as
Hello, welcome back to
a Mark feature person, because my first 3 features I think were all Mark, and then it went all Simon for a long time, and then one Mark feature, that one that David is referring to, and this is I think my 5th Mark feature.
Cracking the Cryptic now. Zetamath, a great friend of the channel, first appeared as a setter 4.5 years ago, quite early on in our 5,000 videos that we've created, and is responsible for nearly 50. He's in the top 10 of constructors who've featured on the channel. Has been constructing puzzles sometimes on live streams and with friends, and is just an all-round genius. I think the name slightly stems from being a maths teacher or professor, and Zetamath is really, really talented. So this, I think from the title, is a puzzle that again was created on a live stream with other people collaborating. It's a brilliant construction in terms of symmetry, and looks a bit like an angel with wings.
I'm really happy with the aesthetic of this grid.
I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. Fascinating idea.
So when we started this, I started as I very often when I start setting stream, I'll start with a break-in, and so I had a break-in that involved just basically these two clues, and they happened to be symmetrical. And it's like, well, if I can, I'd love to maintain this sort of mirror symmetry throughout, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So I was really happy I was able to. And for me, it totally counts that there's an odd and an even square and they reflect. I think, I don't know if Mark's going to agree with me, but I think this counts as being sort of perfectly reflected. For my money, I'm happy with it.
I'll have a look at that in a moment, but I do want to shout out Zetamath, who is a great friend of the channel, and he has created a worm which will be launched at some point. We will be launching more worms this month and others later. The worms are the latest in our sort of app.
I'm glad Mark mentioned that, because I was about to be like, oh, I guess that they didn't use it. I'll go ahead and publish it. I am glad that we do this.
Do check them out.
Yeah, I've done one. I'll definitely contemplate doing another.
They are available on links under the video, and go to the CTC app for the worms. They are there available as purchases within the worm, and we recommend them very highly. So do check those out. Now, another thing that we got up to recently was taking part in a podcast of The Verge. I think they call it the Vergecast. They have a YouTube channel, so you can just look up Vergecast and see Simon and myself talking with Alison there about what we do and why we do it and how long we've been doing it and that sort of thing.
Of the Vergecast before.
It's an interesting history of the channel and us, and It was great fun talking to her.
So I will say my ultimate fantasy is that Simon and Mark guest star on No Rolls Barred playing Blood on the Clock Tower. If you have not watched No Rolls Barred playing Blood on the Clock Tower live, I found that series to be insanely enjoyable and binged it all, and have since been watching just an absurd amount of Blood on the Clock Tower. It has become basically my obsession. But they're a British gaming group, so I feel like I can dream of a day when Simon and Mark go on and play it. Hey, oh Puck, you've solved 2 of my puzzles last week. Nice, which 2? Welcome. Yeah, I'm very happy to be part of this community. I really enjoy it.
That was from my hotel room in Edinburgh, which
Mark just said I've been doing, or my first appearance on the channel was 4.5 years ago. So I guess I've been a part of this community for going on 5 years now, which is hard to believe. I was trying to calculate it the other day, and I couldn't quite decide exactly how long it had been.
Counts for the slightly extraordinary wallpaper. Not my own choice, necessarily. That was very interesting. So do check that out. What else we got to mention? We've got Sven's Sudoku pad linked under the video, and of course, Patreon, where the monthly reward is Blobs' masterpiece, the Back to the Future Hunt. Brilliant set of 10 Sudokus. Give it a try.
That is quite a
Loads
grid
of people
there
are
that
doing
they have
so,
in the thumbnail.
and finding it not too hard. So do give the puzzles a go. They are brilliant. There are solution videos to last month. There are
Blobs is usually
videos.
Great for puzzles I really like that are not too hard. Like usually Blobs puzzles I think are in the 2 to 3 star range and are usually quite nice.
Crossword videos as well. Simon solving Listen by Eck has been very popular, even though it stretches over 8 hours. 7 videos. The last 2 or 3 feature the denouements, the multiple denouements of this incredible puzzle from, it was a cryptic crossword originally, but then it devolves into other things. It's really
That sounds very
seeing.
interesting. I'm curious about that.
And yeah, that's on Patreon. So do join us there as well. The #1 puzzle club in the world, we believe. But do have a click on the first link under the video if you want to play Angel by zetamath and Friends. I'm going to go through the rules now, which are fairly straightforward. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Cells along grey lines between 2 filled circles must have values between those in the circles. So if this was a 3 and that was a 7, these would have to be from 4, 5, and 6. Now, the sum of the digits along a red line connecting 2 circles is equal to the sum of the digits in the circles. So those 5 will be equal to those 2. The digit in the grey circle is odd, the digit in the grey square is even, and digits may repeat on lines of either type if allowed by other rules. Very simple rule set, beautiful symmetrical diagram, I guess apart from the circle and the square, but every red line is mirrored by a grey line and vice versa, which is pretty special. How has this been constructed? Well, I was going to say who knows, but I guess you know if you were on the live stream when it was, if I'm right that that's how it was done.
Yeah, you absolutely can watch
Fabulous.
every moment
Anyway,
of the construction
I can't
of
wait
this.
to give this a try, and I'm
past the little bit of the break-in that I had, but the break-in I had was just me noticing that these 2 length 5 double arrow in between line already actually were quite interesting.
I'm going to click on the link now, or click on the restart button and say, let's get cracking. How are we going to do the angel? Well, I'm going to start with what I was talking about, actually. On the red line I picked as an example looks quite interesting, because those 5 digits have to all be different. So they've got a minimum sum, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 equals 15. These 2 have a maximum sum of 9 plus 8, which is...
It's funny that this 5 equals 2 break-in is so pervasive in region sumline puzzles that the break-in sneaks into other puzzles that aren't region sumline puzzles. But this is like almost every region sumline puzzle ever starts with 2 cells in one box equal 5 cells from the other, and we get almost that exact deduction here, but with double arrows instead.
17. So these 2 have to add up to at least 15, and I think the candidate digits then are 6, 7, 8, and 9. And these 5 have to add up to at most 15.
Thank you.
And they have to have a 1, 2, and 3 from memory. Yes, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, won't do it. So what does that mean for the puzzle? These two, this is on 2 grey lines as well as a circle. This has to be the high digit on this line. And I know that each grey line will have a high digit and a low digit in the circles that have to be, in the high case, higher than all the digits on the grey line, and in the low case, lower. So one will be high and one will be low. This can't be the low digit on this line, because if that was 6, this would have to be 9, they would be 7 and 8, and this cell would be broken. So this is the high digit on its line. This can't be more than 6 now. It's a kind of mirror process in a way. If that was 9, let's try and keep this as high as we can. If this was 6, yes, in theory, 7 and 8 on the line, 9 in the other circle, but then that would be broken again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah, I will say here, the fact that the break-in worked here really surprised me. I wasn't sort of like trying it, but I kept noticing things until like you can actually get quite a bit. So it's not surprising to me that he didn't leap right to it, because even when I made it, I was quite surprised by how quite how much is forced by looking at what's happening in these first 2 rows.
Then what? I mean, I didn't really study many lines apart from this one. I'm having a quick look at box 2 as I began. So there's a lot of other lines in this puzzle that could all be very relevant early on. I don't know. Let's have a think now. These two, okay, one of these is high, and is quite high, isn't it? It's got to be higher than all of these 5 digits and the low circle. So the high digit is higher than 6, is 7, 8, or 9. And that's going to be the 3rd high digit from 6, 7, 8, 9 in the box. It could be here.
Now, I will say, it's been a bit since I've set this, and in the time since I set this puzzle, I have set 20 or 25 like 1 and 2 star puzzles. I've been posting my favorites of them over on LMD. So Puck mentioned a couple of them. I really like the region sumline one. I really like the arrow one. I really like the quadruple one. I mean, I guess the ones I posted on LMD are the ones I really liked, I guess, is a good summary. And I'll continue to do so. So if I have less commentary than I usually do for these, it's because my brain has been mildly consumed by the fact that I've just been setting a bunch of other puzzles.
Oh, where's this digit in box 3?
Excellent question.
Where's yellow in box 3? It can't be on the red line, quite. It's close. But the simple way of saying that it can't be on the red line is because if that digit, these 2 add up to those 5. If that digit was one of these 5 digits, the other 4 would all add up to that, but they all have to be different. And 4 digits that have to be different add up to at least 10. So yellow doesn't appear here by Sudoku or here because it's not allowed on the red line. It cannot be on its own between line because that's just not allowed. This is either the highest or lowest digit in that group. So that is yellow.
Yes, very, very
and then
often.
Yellow is on the grey line. So yellow is not 9. You can never put a 9 or a 1 on a between line because then you couldn't get a higher or lower digit in the circle. So yellow is not 9. It is on this line. And a higher digit than yellow is in one of these 2 cells.
Yeah, you can thank Tris for the audio quality of the stream because Tris really has an ear for it. It's not a thing I have any sort of sensitivity to or awareness of, but Tris goes out of his way to make me sound good, which I appreciate.
Well, I mean, that's quite interesting stuff so far. Let's
Hey,
actually
Playmaker,
mark that
welcome.
yellow is up here somewhere. Either 6, 7 or 8 is on this line. Actually, where's 9 in this box? That's simple. It's there. It can't be on the red line, which adds up to no more than 15. It can't be on a between
No more
line,
than
and it's
17.
not one of the candidates we've marked there. So 9 is here. And that goes further straight away. I mean, there may be consequences of that, but where does 8 go in the box? It can't be on the red line, because then it would add up to at least 18, which is impossible here. 8 can't be on this line now, because that digit, oh, hang on. Okay, I was just going to be careful. What if this was the low digit on this grey line, which I didn't think about? But there is a reason it can't be, because that would be 6. This would be a 7, 8
He definitely does,
and that
Alethana.
would be 9, and that breaks. So this is the high digit. I hadn't thought about that. Sorry, I need to. This is the high digit. 8 can't be on this line, because that is meant to be higher, and it can't be higher than 8. So 8 is yellow, and now we found out what yellow is. 8 is there. One of these is an 8, and therefore one of these circles is the higher digit that is a 9. And now this digit can't be 9 or 8, and indeed these have to add up to at least 15. So these two do as well. I did say that right. And this must be a 7, and these now must be
That's
1,
a very
2, 3,
nice
4,
way of
5.
doing it. It's
Brilliant.
It's a different order than I did it. So what I did when I did this was to prove, that this is just a nice encapsulation. I like Mark's way of ordering this better than the way I ordered it. My ordering involves specifically proving that these could never be an 8-9 pair, because if these are an 8-9 pair, you can never put both 8 and 9 in row 1. So actually the total here is at most 16, and then using that. But Mark actually saw you could sort of squint straight to this and get to this, which is very nice to sort of immediately get that.
And this digit is a 6, 7 pair. And this digit is, I'm just looking at this box to compute that. This digit is lower than 6. Oh, I was going to go, how can these two be high and low, but they're not. This is a red line. Well, the red line adds up to no more than 10, which might be the sum of those two. No, this digit can't be 5 anymore. I know that because these two come between this digit and 8, and now they can't include 7. So they're at most 6 and 5, and this is at most 4. Now, has that made it have to be the low line on this grey, the low circle? If that was high, it would be a 4. These two would be 3 and...
Agreed, David. I always prefer the argument that doesn't involve, imagine that this was this, oh wait, that breaks. I guess that's just my mathematician coming out, because mathematicians always prefer to avoid proof by contradiction. Not that it's not logically valid. Oh, did I get to 100 puzzles published on LMD? I didn't even notice. Well, thank you, Playmaker. Yeah, it turns out that when you publish a bunch of 1- and 2-star puzzles, then I guess they go up. Which has been very fun, by the way. I've been enjoying it, and it's neat posting a bunch of puzzles. Like, I think I've had 500 solves on my puzzles in the past week or two, just because I've been posting a bunch of like 1- and 2-star ones, and there will still be more, in case you forgot. I still have some more to do that. Yeah, I guess that's a calculation that you can do, Jim. Is that I've had about 50 CTC features, give or take. So yeah, about half of my puzzles have been on Cracking the Cryptic. If you count about half of the ones I publish on LMD anyway. I do generally only publish my favorites of my puzzles on LMD, but well, I'm a little bit narcissistic, so almost all of my puzzles are among my favorites. But these sorts of things. I mean, Alethana, mathematicians will accept a proof by contradiction or reductio ad absurdum, but they generally prefer not, because it's usually provides less evidence as to why the thing is true, and usually we want the thing that gives us why the thing is true, whereas logicians don't really care about why the thing is true. The logicians are more interested in the structure of truth itself as study or as a discipline.
And 2, including a repeat, and that would be 1. So I think that's possible, which is disappointing. Now, we've had a 7 there and a 7 here. One of these is a 7. It's probably going to be on the grey line. 6, 7 as well. Right, 6 is not in one of these circles in this box because you wouldn't have 5 digits that could get between 6 and 9. So if it's not in one of those circles, we know from those
this
that
does,
it's
by
not
the way,
here.
I will say this feels a lot more Simon than Mark to have this 9 looking at these corner marked 9s for this long. Not that it's something I wouldn't do, but Mark usually is just like bam, 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 bam with anything that's Sudoku, which is, I think, comes from the fact that Mark, I think, has done a lot more competitive solving than Simon.
6 is in one of those 2. Now this feels like it must be, yes, it is the low digit on this line. And it didn't quite have to be if we ignore this cell, because this could have been 5, this could have been
Mark
2, 3, 4 in some order, and that could have been 1.
That's like the zadiest. This is like one of my favorite steps in Sudoku is you can't make this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it would break that cell. I'm glad Mark spotted that. I love that kind of step. I don't know why,
but if that occurred, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this cell's broken. Or to put it another way, you couldn't have fitted 6 and 7 in the column. So that is not high. This is low on this. I mean, it's probably not a big deduction, but it's true. This digit, mind you, let's say it was the lowest it could be 1, and these were the lowest they could be 2, 3, 4. This digit is at least 5 then. So we can mark in 5, 6, or 7. And that is on this line where this circle is the sum of those 2. That's how a really short red line works. You add up the 2 circles.
Yeah, really short double arrows are always.
So this is now higher
damning.
than 5. And this digit is no more than 4 because of the difference between that and that is what is in here. If that was a 6, this would have to be 7. One can't be on the line? No, I don't know. I'm not sure what's...
Yeah, Mark did argue that this circle can't be a 5 and then write 5 into it.
Do. Let's have another little pond.
That's the worst kind of thing, because when you think about something and then write the conclusion, you're very unlikely to then go back and re-examine the thing that you thought about. So, like, that's the kind of mistake that often ends up costing you a lot of time in a solve. I may or may not know from experience.
Oh, 9 was in one of these 2 circles and we've got it there. That's very easy. Now, 9 is in one of these 3 cells. I don't know if it can be on the red line yet. This digit, okay, this is low, isn't it? Because we've got to put 5 in between digits here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 they could be. This is no more than 3. Now, for 9 to be on the line, this would have to be pretty high, at least 7 with a 3 there. This could be 9, 1. So if 9 was on the line, this would be at least 7. I don't know, that may not be very helpful. It's just what I was thinking about. I mean, the reason I was talking about these was they add up to the sum of these 3, and 9 is the maximum now for the sum of these 3. It's not really doing anything, is it?
I definitely believe Mark is capable of proving that row 4 column 9
is
into 5, though.
At least. I'm not sure it's the low digit on this line, but it's the low digit on this line. Because if you tried to make it the high, you could make that a 4, put 3 and 2 here, but you couldn't get If you put a 1 here, you couldn't get lower. So this is the low.
Is practice with an S in British? I didn't notice, but it said practice your sudoku, so I assume so.
Digit on this line. Oh, where's 9 in this column? I can do that as well. Oh, maybe the secret in this puzzle is asking where 9 is in all sorts of places. Look, 9 isn't there. It can't be on a grey line. So they're all ruled out. We've pencil marked those because of this 9. Can 9 be here? And the answer is no, because the maximum sum of this line is 9. If you put 9 there, the minimum sum of that bit of the line, the red cells, is 12. So that is where 9 goes in the row. Now, I'm pretty sure this is high on its line. I'm pretty sure this is high on its line, but I haven't proved either of those things.
Oh, wow,
For
Damien,
this to
that's
be low,
interesting.
it would be a 1, and that would be a 2-3 pair, and this would be a 4. I mean, I suppose I can't prove that's not happening.
Yeah, I remember very vividly that, like, slowly chipping down at this and this is very important because it pushes up the minimum sum of this line. So I know, at least in terms of the order we set it in, that's coming next, I think.
Oh, this is zetamath. So let's look at this zeta or z up here, this red Z or Z.
I do love
You can
sneaking
call that letter a
Z's
lot of
into my
Right,
puzzles.
those two cells add up to the total of these two. Is it possible for this to be a 6? Just, I think. If that was a 1, this would be 3. That would be 4. On this line, this would be 5, and that would be 2. Okay, it is just possible, which is a shame, because it nearly placed 6 for me.
We did set a 10-line puzzle on stream last week, I want to say, that by coincidence just had a 10-line that just was a zeta. That was very nice.
Okay, there's an interrelation between these two cells and these two cells. This is bigger than this because it's on a grey line where this is the low digit. So this is bigger than this. And it must be by the same amount that this is smaller than this, because those two, this is weird. It's like a big X. Those two add together to give the sum of those.
Okay, this step is definitely owed to chat, because even when chat explained it to me that, like, oh, you could do this using this relationship, that my brain took a while to process it. So this definitely is one of the steps. I don't remember who it was, but someone in chat came up with this.
We know from the grey line that this is bigger than this. And by exactly the same amount, that must be smaller than this. So this digit is bigger than this by as much as that is bigger than that. How do I use that? Well, let's put in 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And this is, well, similarly, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Except it's not 6 by sudoku. So the difference between these is maximally 4. So this can't be a 6 now. Is that right? I think that's right. The difference is so weird. I'm just going to draw 2 lines to continue to emphasize this point. The difference between the cells on the green line, because of the shape of the red line, the difference between cells on the green line has to be the same as the difference between cells on the blue line. If that was... Oh, I'm talking nonsense. That's a shame.
He's completely right. He's just backwards.
I was going to say this can't be a 6 because the difference would be 5, and that's just absolute rubbish. Okay, let's just get rid of those lines. But it's still true that
Why
the
did he
difference
eliminate
between these
1
is the same
from
as
row
the
3,
difference
column
between
4?
these. And this is higher than this. Now, this can't be a 1 either, because these are between that and this. Is the thing that's going on in box 2 or in all of rows 1, 2, 3? I just don't know. Something is happening here, and I'm struggling to keep pace with it. Okay.
I see.
Hang on. Oh, goodness. We looked at 9. I looked at 9 in this box, and then I looked at 8, and it was really valuable. I looked at 9 in this column, and that was valuable. And then I just didn't carry on and think about 8. But I should do, because 8 can't go here, because then this line would add up to at least 11, which it cannot do given those circles. So 8 in column 7 is now on this grey line, and therefore the big digit in the circle on this line is a 9, and we know exactly where that is. So we've got another 9 in the puzzle. Another couple of circles that can't be 9. This can't be 8. It could well be 9. It's the sum of these two. What do we know about those? Not enough. Not enough. We found 9 and 8. 7 can't be there, admittedly, but now it can be here easily, and it can be here easily. So 7 is not worth going to. There is an 8 in one of these 3 cells. It's not. Ooh, it's closer. It's not quite on this red line, and I know that because these have to be at least a pair of 1s, and that would take the total too high. So 8's in one of those 2 cells, but it could be on the even square, definitely. Quite likely it is. Don't know.
Yeah, if he looked for 7 in column 9.
7?
Oh, yep, there we go.
In this column.
I was going to explain why 7 in column 9 is a good idea.
It must be in one of these 2 cells. And now this digit is not a 7. Right. For this to be, I think that's right. 7 can't be on this line because that can't be bigger. Yeah, okay. So for this
that
to
was
be
the
a
whole
6,
reason. I always draw in a clue because I see that it makes some deduction. And in this case, the clue I put this in for was just so that I could corner mark a 7 down here in the column and hope that I could use that in some way, shape, or form.
We have a definite 1 there and a 5 here. We also get, that doesn't work. Perfect. I think actually it's simple. We can't have a 5 there because this line would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would be broken. What I was going to say is if there's a 6 there, where's the 6 in column 1? It's on this line.
Very familiar with the sense of disappointment when you make a complicated argument that you're happy about and immediately realize that it could have been replaced by a simpler argument that you've even already given.
And then that can't be a 5. So this is a 9. We've found another 9. 9s are findable in this puzzle. Or it's about the best digit we've been having some fun with. There is a 9 in one of those 2 cells I've just noticed. Anyway, this pair adds up to 9. This can't be a 1 anymore because 8 is not available here. This can't be a 5. That's what I've just worked out. Because these would have to be 2, 3, 4. And this would be broken. You couldn't fit 6 and 7 in the row. So that's not 5. That is 6 or 7. This is now not 4. This is 2 or 3. Because these 2 add up to that. Now, this is 2 or 3.
Now he just needs to
this
grab
is
row
not
4
limiting
column
these
9
grey
by the horns.
digits at all. It's definitely the low digit on this line now. So this is higher, and these 2 have to be at least 3 or 4. So this is 5, 6, 7, or 8. It's not 6, because 6 is in one of those cells. Then what? I don't know. These, I suppose, are from 3, 4, 5, 6. They can't be 7 or 8 by sudoku. What do we need in this column? low digits, a 1 somewhere and a 2. Okay, I don't know about that. What do I know about this red line with a 5, 7 or 8 in?
The bad memories are coming back.
I don't really know about that. Okay, let's think about whether this can possibly be the high digit on this line. If it was high, it would be a 4. And these would be 3 and 2, and that would be a 1. Oh, this 1's going to have a hard time on this line, especially as this digit can't be a 9 down here.
You know, that's a very reasonable guess, actually, David, is that this is a pretty pencil mark heavy puzzle by nature, by the fact that it has a lot of inequalities and arithmetic that has like degrees of freedom floating around. So this is like a great puzzle for Mark in that regard.
So if that was a 1, this would be an 8, and that would be 2, 3, 4. Oh, that would be really helpful if that happened. And it's quite unlikely. Oh, this can't be a 1. Oh no, hang on. Oh, what would that be? Whatever that would be, it would be a 2 or a 3, and this would be a pair of the same digits.
Hey, Duhail, welcome.
1 and 2 or 3. Oh, I'm getting confused now. I can't quite see what we're meant to know. I don't think this can be a 1, but I haven't proved it can't be. Oh, right. If this was a 1, that would be a 4. This would be a 2, 3 pair. Now, in this row, we'd have 1, 2, and 3. These two digits would be at least 4 and 5.
That will definitely do it.
And that would make this red line add up to at least 10, which is impossible because its max is 9. So that is not...
Thank you, legitimate businessman. I still love, by the way, that your screen name is a reference to a Magic card. I enjoyed that. As soon as that set came out and I saw it, I was like, oh, it's got to be. Let's get you a donation dance. Boop 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 doop doop boop boop. Woohoo! Boop boop doop boop boop doop. Woohoo! Boop boop doop boop boop doop. Woohoo! Boop boop doop boop 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 boop. Woohoo! Thank you, legitimate businessman. Thank you, Zach. Oh yeah, you made a comment about platforming in Lingo 2 that was somewhat terrifying. I saw on YouTube today.
It is not the low digit on this grey line. It is the high digit on that line, and it's not 9. And these are at least 2 different digits, so it's somewhere between 4 and 8, and it is the high digit on this line. Now, is it that there isn't a high concept of a high digit on a red line? That's a shame.
Sad but true.
I don't know quite what's going on up at the top.
And he's said the high digit, low digit thing so many times. He just needs to look at the cell, and then he'll be in happy places.
Covered what's going on in box 2 enough. I'll tell you something. These are an even group because those two add up to, let's call it x, and that's the same as these two. So that this group adds up to 2x. The box adds up to 45. That's a secret that we sometimes share with you. So it would be even after counting all of these digits, and these two added together must give an odd number. And that does nothing. It's a parity truth, but it doesn't help solve the puzzle. Lots of these lines don't look all that helpful anymore. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but it does seem to be true.
Poor lines.
Oh, hang on. I was saying that I couldn't tell where 7 went here, wasn't I? Because it could go on this grey line, or there. And I hadn't even really ruled out here. But first of all, I can rule out here.
Correct, Caleb.
I can rule out this because this line would add up to at least 10, and it can't do that. I can rule out these because I've marked 7 as in one of those two cells, so that's already in box 9. So 7 must go here, and this digit is a 6. Now,
but true.
This is tougher. This is almost very exciting. 6 is in one of those cells. If it was here, we would know that digit was a 7, and I could make that a 2. If it was here, this red line is going to have to add up to 9. This would be 6. This would be 5. Oh, that can't be 5. Look at this line. I'm being
oh, the worst feeling. Yep.
If this is a 7, these could be 6, 5, 4. The most this can be is 3. We've reduced this red line to adding up to no more than 7. This can't be 6. 6 in box 6 is now in one of those cells, and this digit is a 7.
That reaction was so worth it.
6 is also on this line. This has been a very helpful line, and I haven't even pencil marked any digits onto it. That's really strange, but it is nonetheless very true. Now, these are two very low digits. These are from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, these are two very low digits. They mean that these two can't be as low as they would like to be. What am I talking about? What I'm saying is these can't both be from 1, 2, 3, or we would have 4 such digits in box 6. Therefore, they are at least 1 and 4. That is the minimum they can be. And if they were 1 and 4, that would be 5. You'd have to have at least another 1 here, and that's 6. And that's 1 degree of freedom away from the max here. So these must add up to 6 or 7. That one can't be 1 anymore. This one can't be 1 or 2 in any way. And that's going to be useful in box 2 in a moment. And these, there has to be a 1 in those cells, and either 4 or 5. No. Well, yeah, this is now a 2-3 pair. Yes, there has to be a 1. I was going to say there might be a 2. No, there has to be a 1, and either 4 or 5. And this digit, these add up to 5 or 6. This digit, the max it can be is 2.
Yeah, he repeatedly reminded himself that as soon as he knew what this cell was, he'd know what this cell was because they summed to 9. And then he had such an emotional reaction to realizing he had missed pencil marking this cell that then he forgot this, which is, of course, going to unfortunately make his life a bit worse.
And now, up here, 3 or 4 there wipes out 2 and 3 from these cells. These are from 4, 5, and 6 now. And those two add up to the total of those two. Okay, this can't be a 1 for some reason, because it has to be higher than that. And therefore, this can't be 6 anymore, because those two now would add up to a minimum of 8, and that's more than the maximum of these. Excellent. So that's not 6. This is 6 in the box. That's a 4-5 pair now, and this is 3.
Yeah, there isn't really a standard way to shove these two in the same grid, Garion. So I just had to pick a color. And go with it. But yeah, I agree. There's not a usual thing.
And these
here.
Can't be 3. This can't be 4 or 5. It's 2. This is 1, and this is 4. And I think this all works. 1 plus... No, it doesn't work. I've got them the wrong way round. I've got them the wrong way round the whole time. Right.
There we go. We figured it out.
Botheration. I don't think it's affected anything else until I got into this box.
But I don't think it did affect anything.
This is more than that because of the grey line. And that means on this bit, doesn't it mean that that is less than that? No, it means that is more than that. This digit, let's just colour them. This red is more than this blue. But this blue, therefore, has to be more than this red. So I got the relationship between these two the wrong way around. That is lower, and this is higher.
Yeah, so the reversing the directions earlier actually made this thing that he was going through much worse, because of the actual way the lower higher worked was actually was the way that made it seem useless. But it was in fact not completely
embarrassing.
useless.
Can it even be 6? No. We've got all of these to put on. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. That can't be 4. Oh, that's 2 or 3, and this is 1 or 2. It's a much better relationship than I'd realised. Well, I don't think I've used that for anything else. Have I used it for this line? And determining that couldn't be 1? No, that was about what happened in this row. That's okay. That's okay. This is low. That's all right. This is higher than this. And this is higher than this. Now, this could still be 6. This is my point here. Sorry about the mistake. Did catch it. Now, this is more than this. That's what we're learning now. And that's correct. Can this digit still be a 2? Because I might have eliminated that. Or maybe even a 1. No, these two have to add up to these, which are at least 6. That's why this is 3 or 4. And this is higher. Okay, if the differences were 2 between blue and red, 3, 1, 4, 6, that does work. This is a between. It can't be 2 or 3. Oh, come on, we're nearly there now. We're nearly there now. This can't be 5. If that was 5, this would be 4, that would be 3. Difference of 2, but you couldn't achieve that without using 3. So that's not 5. So that's even. One of these is a 3, because if they were 2 and 4, you couldn't make these 4 and 2. Oh, what's going on? This is totally obvious now, and I can't see it. What's happening? Is this resolved? There's no 5 in those cells. We worked out that these two have to add to an odd number.
True.
It's going to be 3, 4. No, it's not, because that would break this. Isn't this going to be 1, 2, 3, 4? 4, 1, 2, 3. That would work. So it's probably what's going to happen. Then 5 there and 6 there. I don't know. Don't just speculate. Do some deductions. This is a grey line. This can't be 4 anymore. It has to be considerably higher than this. It can't be 5 either, because if that's 3, you're going to have to put 4 and 5 on here.
Correct.
Right, what's this total for these reds? Somewhere between 8 and 11, the total for these two. Now, if you didn't use a 9, you can't use 8, 7 and 6. The only way you could get a total of 8 or 9, and you couldn't get more, would be by using digits from 3, 4, 5 here. Okay, the simple way to put that perhaps is by considering that 1 and 2 both have to be placed in this row. One of them is there. If you were to put the other one here, nine would be on this red line. If you were to put the other one on one of these red line cells, then the other digit you would need in this row to get up to a total that could be achieved by those is 9. So 9 is always on one of those red cells. And now this can't be a 6 anymore because we'd only be adding up to 8 or 9
way to articulate that. It's not quite how I would have articulated
in the two circles. Instead, that is 7 or 8. This is 2 or 3. We're adding up to 10 or 11 here, and this is using a 1 or a 2, and that is now a triple. I was hoping this was going to actually resolve something, and all it does is tell me that this digit is 3, 4, or 5.
The heartbreak in his voice is so palpable.
Where's this digit in box 1? That's a good question. It's not on its own grey line. It's not in those cells by sudoku.
Yeah, there we go. That was this exactly the intended thing to discover.
Can't be now. Now it can't be on its own red line. If that digit was on its own red line, then the other digit on the red line would have to be here, and that can't be a 9. So this digit is there, and they are both 3s, and that is the breakthrough we needed for box 2, which I've now pencil marked correctly. We get a 4 there, a 6 there, a 1 there. This line adds up to 7, both in the circles and on the red bit, and this digit is a 5, and this grey line is fine. 5 and 6 are between 4 and 8. This is a 2 by elimination. 6 is up here somewhere. 2, no, those are a 2-9 pair. That's definite now, and this is an 8 to make the circles add up to 11, and that's now not 8. Ooh, what does that do here? I don't know, but it stops 8 being here. Now, on this line, these digits are from 5, 6, 7, because they're between 4 and 8, and that's giving me a triple in the row, 5, 6, 7. That's not a 5. This is
the most
low.
Random. So, funnily enough, I think we added a clue specifically because we didn't want people to have to find that triple. I think we discovered the random 5, 6, 7 triple, but it was random enough. I think we added a clue so you didn't need it for the solve path, if I remember correctly. Or maybe it was something slightly more esoteric. But there was some Sudoku step that we sort of like pathed around.
One of these is a 6.
Yeah, 1 in box 1 would be very helpful, Emma.
Those can't have a 5 in anymore. There must be Sudoku that I just haven't looked at. Oh, come on. There must be something that's got done here that's totally obvious. These digits don't include a 1. So 1 is there. They also don't include a 2. So 2's over this side. 3, 2, 9, 1. These are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're perfectly adequate digits.
Perfectly adequate. The poor digits. I feel like I would hate to be described as only perfectly adequate.
So this is getting a bit more constricted. What are we going to add up to on the red line? Can we do this at all? I don't know. This can't be as low as a 2, because those couldn't add up to 10 without using 1, 2, or 3, or even close. Now, that's interesting.
I think I only know this because I figured it out during this puzzle, but the correct way to do this, if you're ever faced with this exact situation, is to actually minimize the sum including the circles. So say the minimum these can be is 8 plus 2, 4, 5, 6. and then whatever that is, have it, and that tells you the maximum sum of the thing. That is easier than doing the thing that I kept trying to do, which ended up being more annoying, which is minimizing the sum of these, because if you minimize the sum of these 3 cells, you get 2, 4, 5, which is 11, and you say, so this is at least a 3, but that's not very exciting, except it's actually way better than that if you sort of do it holistically.
Oh, this isn't allowed to be 9 or 7. By Sudoku, this is 2, 4, 5, 6. I've just worked out it can't be 2. If it was a 4, these would add up to 12. But without using 1 and 3, that would have to be 2, 4, 6, and that would repeat the 4. If this was a 5, these would add up to 13 without using 1, 3, 5, 8. Oh, bother. 2, 4, 7 does that. If that was a 5 and this was 2, 4, 7, we'd have 6 there and 9 here. Okay, if that was a 6, these add up to 14. We're going to have to use the 2, 5, 7. Yeah, this is either 2, 5, 7 and a 6 there, or 2, 4, 7 and a 5 here. So 2 and 7 are definitely used there. I'm just going to mark across boxes for now. Does
Mark have a killer calculator embedded in his brain? Yes, I think Mark has a killer calculator embedded in his brain.
And this is whatever is missing out of 4, 5, and 6. I don't know which it is. One of them might have been ruled out. Now, what about this?
Oh boy, when he realizes he's had that 2 hanging out there, he's going to have a reaction, I bet. Or he's never going to notice.
5 and 7.
At this point, I think the more humane thing is for him to solve the puzzle without ever noticing and being like, wow, that was really hard to sort out that 2, 3. I feel like that would be better for his sanity than going the other way.
Because that would break this pair. Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, at least things are happening. It's okay. It's okay. Don't panic, Mark. You'll find a way to do this puzzle somehow. Now that's become a 4. Oh, that wasn't the minimum, the max. This is still 2, or if that's a 2, these add up to 6 and would have to be 1, 1, 4 if that's a 2, so that would be a 3. However, if that's a 3, these add up to 7, and then they could be 1, 1, 5. No, that's not allowed to be 5. This can never be 5 because this line would add up to at least 8. So this is now an official 1, 4 pair. And that doesn't resolve. Well, what it does mean is that is 1 less than that. So one of these 2 digits is a 2, and that can't be 2. That's all it tells me. Anyway, in this box, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad, and these 2 see 7, 8, 9, so that's a 5, 6 pair. These 2 are an 8, 7 pair. We know the order thanks to the square. These squares were always going to come into it at some point. 7 is looking at that digit, and now we've got a 5, 6 pair in the row, and that can't be 6. I haven't thought about this red line in ages or possibly at all. But I'm going to think about this column first. 5, 6 pair, so that's not a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 still to place. This digit can only be 3 or 4 because it's a between digit. This one can be anything it wants to be. Okay, what are we doing next? We've got 5 and 6 on a grey line. Okay, it's time to consider this red. These digits can't contain 1 and 3 or 9. So they're going to add up to somewhere between 6 and 14. Oh, there is an 8 in one of these 2 cells by Sudoku. Oh, gosh. I don't know where I'm meant to be looking next. Haven't thought about that red line. I was beginning to try and think about this, but I didn't get very far.
Think about the other red line, the one from box 9 to box 6.
It's difficult, though. What's going on with this line? What's going on with anything? Oh, there's that 5-6 pair
It's
stopping that.
interfered with the solve and made the circle.
Is this a 5-6 pair I've seen before? I think it is. I think I just saw it a moment ago. 5, 6, 7, 8 in one of those two cells. Okay, can this be 8? That's worth thinking about. This would have to be quite low. 8, 2 would make this 5.
It's just so hard to
3.
notice this kind of thing.
Well, this can't be 5 or 6 on this line. Can I rule out a high digit like 7? Can I rule out anything? I don't know. I don't know the basis on which I'd rule anything out here. No, I'm going to
really,
look for something
given
else.
that we've
sorry.
got
I just don't feel like I'm going anywhere
left
with this little convocation of circles and arrows.
I feel like
and
he
things.
must notice the 2, 3,
Not arrows,
but I'm not sure.
Lines. It's going to be something like asking about 9 again, isn't it? Can this be 9? These might add up to 14 with 8 and 6 here. I think that's the only way this can be 9, with 6 here, 8 here, 5 here. Now what's happened then? Then this is a 3-4 pair. 8, 6, 5, 3, 4. That's 7. This is 2. And that's 1, 9. I mean, the trouble is, it looks like that does work, which is frankly quite vexing.
I hate it when things work.
This just doesn't look any use at the moment, and therefore it's probably the most useful line in the puzzle, and probably has been since the start. But
yeah, the break-in was
7
actually to look at
can't
that
be
line.
there. That's blindingly obvious now. 7 is in one of these two, because we know this line has a 7.
I will say, any puzzle I set with chat makes the Sudoku stuff probably 70% harder than it is in most of my puzzles, because chat notices every single Sudoku thing. And so then I end up using slightly more. Like, I think I use Sudoku more than most setters in my my solve paths typically, but when chat helps, like this was co-set with chat, then it really it tends to up the amount of spots that you have to make about some slightly tricky Sudoku spot.
I need to think about this line more. And actually, I know the parity of this digit, because those two add up to the same as those, so these are even. Then we add 9, 3, and 1, and we're at an odd total, and we need that to be even. Now that's a pity. I was hoping it would work out as odd parity, but it's even. It's 4 or 6. If it was 6, this has to be 5, and those are 2, 4, 7, and that adds up correctly. If it was 4, this is 2, 5, 7, and that's a 6. I can't split the difference between those two. That's irritating. Should I be colouring 5s and 6s, or 1s
Oh
and
no!
4s?
Please, Mark, please don't color 5, 6s.
Or should I just be noticing? I'm sure I should be just noticing something. That is the trouble with this sort of puzzle. There's lines everywhere, and if you just fail to notice something that is absolutely obvious somewhere. Okay, here's the thing. If that's a 6, this has to be 7. And that would have to be 5.
You're so close. Your cursor is so close to the circle to look at, Mark.
I don't know what else that does. If that was a 6, this would be a 5. So we'd have 5s in those, in those positions. That would be the 5 in row 5. That looks all too plausible. Oh, look, here it is. 7 plus 2 equals 9. I hope, that gives me a 3 here. That gives me a 4 here. That was it. We get a 1 in the corner. This is a 2 to complete the column.
There we go.
I mean, it's that simple, isn't it? Now, 2 doesn't resolve this line particularly. It keeps 2 out of this cell, though. Is that? Oh, it keeps 2 out of this cell. So now 2 is definitely in one of those.
But he'll forget the red line now, yeah. But I mean, the red line he hasn't thought about for half an hour because he got it as resolved as he possibly could. So,
don't know what to do with that. There'll be some. I mean, that was so blindingly obvious. Oh, 1 can't be on this line, so it's in one of these cells in box 9. Less blinding, but still obvious. Now, we know that those 2 add up to 7. These 2 add up to 5. That's a 2. That's just, again, red line maths. These can't have a 4 in.
Now is where the rest of the puzzle gets resolved in about 3 minutes, it looks like.
Now there's a... Oh, what's happened there? Sorry. I was trying to
adding random circles probably won't help.
These are from 1, 3, 5. Oh, goodness. Okay, so now this is getting more constrained, this red line, surely. This digit is 4, 5, 6, or 7. Oh, where's 1? How do I know it's not 1 because of that? We can just place 1 in the central box, then we can place 9, then we can place 8. Now, that has to do something. That has to do something. 9 is in one of those 2 cells. 1 is definitely there in the row. That's going to put...
There was definitely one Renbon puzzle I set where Simon solved it with a really elaborate set. That was definitely not what I intended. After introducing it and saying, well, this is only a 3-star puzzle, so this one should be quite approachable, and then constructing the most elaborate, like, jellyfish set mutant thing possible, which in some bizarre roundabout way was exactly the break-in I intended. I did consider a black Kropke, but there was nowhere I could put a black Kropke in column 5, and I needed it to be symmetrical.
Put 1 in one of those 2 positions, which is an X-wing with 1 there. That's using up the 1s in rows 8 and 9. The 1 in row 7 has to be here. This digit is 3, 4, or 6, depending what's not used here. Right, now, these 2 add up to 12, 13, 14, or 15. So this digit has to be at least, 4 won't do it. This is at least 6 now. I think that's right. These add up to somewhere between 12 and 15. 4 there couldn't get us there. So this is at least 6. 6, 7, or 9. Oh, hang on. There's that 5, 6 pair in this row. So that digit is 2, 3, or 4 as well. That's not quite doing anything over here. Now, 6, 7, or 9. Let's look at this. This is the low digit, and this is the high one. This is 6, 7, or 8 on the grey line.
He said before
and where
that
does
row 6 column 3 could be 5 or 6.
Box 4? It's not a good question. It's a bad question. This can't be 6 though because of this. If it was 7, this would be 6, this would be 5. That would be 7. This would be a 2, 4 pair, 3, 6.
It can't be a 5, Lilyfoot, because this circle and this circle need a digit between it, and so this can't be 5 or 6. And he, I think in his calculation, saw half of that, but not the other half. So he said it can't be 4 because of math. And then said, well, it can't be 5 because of the between line. And then said, okay, but it could be 6, 7, or 8, and just missed
5, 9,
the.
that all
6,
works.
7, or 9.
That's so annoying. Okay, if this was 7, what happens here? 7, 5, and an even digit. Oh, look, these are 2 odd digits. These must be the same parity then to match them. So that is even.
This little like steeple here in the middle was the last thing that was added, and it was discovered, I think, by Afraid Not playing with a solver. Discovered that the puzzle basically became unique if you added these little things, and it was beautiful, and I was very happy about it.
Now I've got a 3, 4, 6 triple, and this is a 5, 7 pair in the box, and that's a 6. And that makes this one a 5. Then we can get 6 on the other side of the grid and 5. This can't be a 5 anymore. There's a 2 in one of them that are cells. Now it still didn't resolve this stuff. Oh, but hang on, this is where we go. Yeah, if this was a 6, that would be a 7 on the grey line rule, on the between line rule. But this would be a 4. And 7 there, 8, 4 there is 12, would need a 5 here. That's not happening. So this is not a 6. This is a 3, 4 pair. We get a 6 at the bottom of the grid. We get a 6 in the middle box. These two add up to 14, and that doesn't tell me what these two are. That's extraordinary. Fair enough, though. It's okay. We made some progress. We've got a 6 down here, so there's no 6 there. That is 4 or 7. Come on, we're still making progress. Might get this done in under an hour. That can't be a 4 anymore. We might not. What's going on this line? This digit is 2, 4, or 5. These two add up to somewhere between 9 and 14. Could be 9. That's so annoying. This is odd. I haven't used that yet. It's 3, 7, or 9. Can't use that.
I think this odd circle is there only for symmetry, if I recall
that
correctly.
That can't be 6 anymore by sudoku. And now on the between line rule, this can't be 7 because that wouldn't be between. So that's the 9. This is now not 9, obviously. This 9 and that 5 add up to 14. Got a 2, 4, 5 triple and a 3, 7, 8 triple down here. 9 is looking up there to get a 2. Now these can't add up to 11 with 1 and 2 gone in the row, so that's not a 2. They do either add up to 13.
I don't think anything here Mark ended up feeling was unfair or annoying, except annoying that he didn't see it, more so than like, oh, that step is annoying. Unlike the last puzzle of mine he did, which may have had a step that annoyed him.
13 or 14. I feel that they've got to use the 3 and the 4. If it was 3, 6, 7, that would be too much. So they do use the 3 and the 4. And what did I say the totals were? 13 or 14, and either a 6 or a 7. So we've got a 3, 4, 6, 7 quad, and that's 8 at the top. And these use 3 and 4. Why isn't that a bit more helpful?
I think it's more helpful than...
Okay, box 1, 39218. No, not
I mean, but he hasn't even pencil marked every cell in the grid yet.
Yeah. I mean, something must have become obvious. You've probably
What have we done to him?
7,
we may have
9,
lightly
1, 2.
broken Mark. It is very possible.
Down here. Oh my goodness! It just isn't giving up. That can't be a 7, basically.
Yeah, I think that this there is a certain point where
I've got to go
your
through
brain
this
may
yet again.
hurt slightly.
That's so annoying. This is either 2, 5, 7 with a 6 there, and 4 here. That doesn't work because there is a 6 down here. We've got, that can't be 6. I marked 3 and 4 as having to be here because of the line, but 6 also has to be here because of sudoku. So this is a 3, 4, 6 line, which adds
That's
up
a way
to
to see
13.
it.
That digit is a 4. 3, 4, 6 there makes this a 5. These now have to add to 13, and they are 7, 4, 2. This is a 6 at the top. That's a 7 in the column. This digit is 4 or 5, as is this one. That can't be a 4, therefore. 4, 5, 9, 6. Wow, that could be more helpful. Right, this row was having stuff happen. 4 can't be there. This can't be 6, actually. 5, 4, 9, 7. Goodness gracious, why isn't it getting any easier? 4 there sees those 2 cells. Now that's a 3, 6 pair. This is 4.
I mean, I naturally gravitate towards weak clues that give you like the tiniest droplet of information at a time, and double arrows definitely fall under that, but between lines also definitely fall under that. So like this is just a grid full of weak clues all over. Like the strongest clues in a sense are the the even square and the odd circle, because at least they by themselves eliminate candidates from cells, which like in isolation almost none of the clues in the grid do that, like with the sole exception of this one slightly long double arrow. So like the little droplet of information at a time is definitely sort of a consequence of the clue types in the grid.
4, 9, 1. This can't be 7. No, that doesn't resolve it. How is this stuff not done? Okay, I'm removing the corner marks there. It just seems like it's over, and yet I have not finished. That is 1 or 3 by sudoku. So, looking at this row again. 5, 4, 9, 7. We've got to place a 2 in the row, and it can't be there and it can't be there. It's got to be here. That's huge. Right, that's going to finish everything. 7, 4, 2, 3, 7 on the circle, 8 there. This is a 1. That's now 1 in the box. This digit's 3 or 5. Don't know. Okay, I can't do that. This row again. 5, 4, 2, 9, 1, 7. 3, 6 or 8. Okay, I can't do that. I can do this 4, 3 pair. This digit sees 8 and 7, so that's 3. That sees this pair. This can't be 4. In this row, I've only got 1 digit to do. That's a 6. This is 8. Now 3 and 5. That's a 5. That's a 3.
Woohoo!
That's 5 and that's 2. This is a 5 by sudoku. Yes, here it goes. 4, 3, just under an hour. What a puzzle. What a marvellous
Put up a
effort
lot of
from
a fight.
zetamath and friends. An angel of a puzzle. I mean, that is just mind-boggling overall. Sorry about the mistake between those two and those
I
two.
don't
and
think
which was
I
higher
think
and
he
which was
completely
lower.
caught
I
the
don't
mistake
think
by the time
it affected
it
the
mattered.
conclusions. Thank goodness.
I think all it affected was his sanity, because he did it the wrong way first, and so didn't get the eliminations that would have made things a lot easier, a lot faster. Yeah, there were a couple spots where he was looking all over and didn't see the like slightly easier thing. But yeah, but nice solve. I always love seeing Mark solve, because Mark sees things quite differently than most. But this really did follow the solve path basically through this. The clues all did what they were supposed to.
If it did, well, woe is me.
Yeah, if he'd have seen that row 6, column 7 was a 2, I think that also would have cut 10, 15 minutes off the solve. Although it's one of those things where when when you don't see things, you end up like center marking all over the grid, and then that actually speeds up the very end of the puzzle. So like it doesn't quite consume as much, but when you don't see the hidden single 8 in row 2 and you pencil mark everything in the grid, then when you finally do find the 8, then everything else just goes into place.
I'm just thrilled to get to the end. That is really what I'm trying to do, is get to the end of these puzzles and get the correct message. And I've done it. And I'm going to be happy enough about that. I will see you again soon on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. Bye for now.
Well, that was very fun. Alrighty, so I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to be back, and we're going to switch back over to stream. So I'm going to solve some puzzles, and I'm going to miss the fact that 2 plus 7 is 9. So if you want to watch me miss that 2 plus 7 is 9, hang out, and I'll be back to miss that in just a moment. See you in just a minute. Hello, and welcome back. Uh-oh. One moment while I attempt to back us better than we're currently back. Or do you like the white void? Would you like me to solve the white void? Let's see. Supposed to be clicking this. And, oh, that's... Okay, why is this wrong? Oh, it's because sudoku or tamper monkey is off. One moment. I think Tristan's going to need to restart my computer before I can do this, but I'll do it soon. And there's a lot of colors of lines in it, so you know it's going to be a treat. But I'll be back in just a second. Haha. Now this puzzle is even on the screen. Unprecedented. We'll even put on row column labels. If you've ever wondered what it takes for me to pick a puzzle out, having 3 colors of lines is quite often a very good way to do that. Yes, thank you, Tristan, for saving us. So we have here Renbon, so we need to have a string of consecutive digits. I do have a Renbon puzzle over in testing, if you're interested in Renbon. I have a region sum line, so we need to make sure these doing this. No, I didn't start with the most voted on puzzle today because I didn't know how much time we'd have. So Zeta voted on this, but we'll go over the voters. We'll do the most voted on puzzle next time. I can promise, but I didn't know exactly how much time we'd have. Let's see. So we've got those, and then we've got our difference of at least 5 as you bounce from cell to cell to cell along these lines. So at the very least, I can put a 5 here, but I'm also going to color this. Yeah, today was a whole thing. The other thing here that's not a 5 is the purple 4-6. Is the reason why I marked this up. Because a 4 and a 6 only go next to a 1 and a 9, so they can only go at one of the ends, but the ends are the same color. So these are from 4, 5, 6. There could be purple-green if we really wanted. So one of these is 4, 6, and so one of these is the purple 1, 9. Okay, so this is either... So this Renbon kind of wants to be all yellow digits, but I don't know that it's all yellow digits yet. But it either doesn't have a 5 or doesn't have a purple 4, 6. The only purple digit that could possibly be on it is the purple 4, 6. No, the purple 4, 6 just can't be on it at all. This is either yellow or 5. Yeah, right. So yeah, if there's a purple 4, 6 here, this Renbon doesn't have a purple 4, 6 on it. And if this is a 5, this Renbon doesn't have a purple 4, 6 on it because it would have to be 3 purple digits if it had any. So these are, yellow-green for what it is worth. So we've got sort of our 2 middle yellows. And then... Oh, sorry, we don't necessarily have both middle yellows. Sorry, we could have the 2 lower yellows or the 2 central yellows, whatever we want. Now, it's going to be really hard given the way this box is set up for yellow to be low, I feel like, but we've got that. Oh, there's a not adding to 7 rule has been pointed out. I did not actually read the not adding to 7 rule. And so, yeah, so I said there's a 4 or a 6 here, but there's a 4 here because a 6 here would go next to a 1, and orthogonally adjacent digits cannot sum to 7. So one of these is a 4, so one of these is a 9. These are a 5, 6. Not at all, Laura. I just didn't read the rules because I assumed I knew what they were. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 3 on them. I can certainly just drop in the 1, 2, 3, 4. These two aren't 4, of course. These are the 6, 7, 8, 9, except none of them are 6, and that one's not 9 either. Okay, so we've got all of that going on. Okay, so there's no 3 or 4 in these cells for whatever that is worth. Okay, so the 5 and 6 in this box definitely are not on this line. And so there's a 5 and a 6 in these cells. We know we've got a 4, a 5, and a 6 over here somewhere. If this is a 3, interestingly, it forces this to be 3, 2, 1 because you can't put the 3 next to a 4. Okay, so Mekdi is doing the math I was trying to do earlier, back before I knew about the low and the high stuff, because I was saying I didn't think this could be low. If this is 1, 2, 3, then that only sums to 6, which would mean that these two would need to sum to 39, which would mean that one of these two-cell sums would have to be at least half of 39, which is which is 19 or 20, I guess. So I can't make either of those 20. So I certainly can't put a 1 here. And if I put a 2 on here, so now there is a 3 and a 4 on here, and we know the 3 and the 4 go on the side. So let's do that first, because the 3 and the 4 can't go next to each other. And this is the 2 or the 5. But actually, I think Mekdi's argument still works if this is a 2, because then these sum to 9. 45 minus 9 is 36. That would mean I needed one of these two to sum to at least 18, because it's the same as the sum of these, and 18 is too much for two cells. So this is actually a 5, and we can bring out Zach for the 5 dance. Boop, 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 boop. Ooh. Boop, 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 boop. Wow. Boop, 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 beep. Wow. Boop, 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 boop. Wow. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that's a 6, and that's a 5. Okay, so now we can actually do this math. So 45 minus oh yeah, that's a good point. I can't put 2's down here. 45 minus 12 is 33. So 33 divided by 2 is 16.5. So the average of these two sums is 16.5. So one is 17 and one is 15, right? Is what has to be. And so there's no other way to do it. So one of these is exactly 7, 9, and one of them is 8, 9. And they both have 9s on them in order to possibly get that to work. Because the average is 16.5 and the maximum is 17, which is why it has to be 16 and 17 exactly. That does put a 9 on one of these. Okay. So this doesn't have a 7, 8, or 9 on it because it sees the 7, 8, 9. That's very clever. So this is maximum 4, 5, 6, except it's also minimum 4, 5, 6. So we actually get the 4, 5, 6 and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. Very nice, very nice. And so that makes that a 3 and that a 4. Makes these a 6, 7, 8, 9. Funnily enough, I put that almost exact, I mean, not that exact step. It was much more blatant than that. But I put 3 cells that saw 7, 8, 9 next to a 3-cell line so that I could do a little variation of the 2 equals 5 trick. But then I ended up making it so the line actually had a 2-cell segment later so people could just reproduce the original trick, which I was a little bit sad about, but what can you do? Okay, so there's a 4 down here somewhere. These are 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 of some sort. If I look down here, one of these is 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them is 7, 8. One of them is 9, just because the column needs a 9. But the 9's not on the Renban because the column also needs a 7, 8. And if this was a 9, these would be 7, 8. So that's never a 9. So one of these two is 9. And the column also needs a 1, 2, 3, 4. For whatever that is worth. The 2 is in one of these two cells, Garian points out. So the 2 is over here, and the 2 is not in the middle of the line, because it would be next to a 5. So the 2 is actually in one of these two cells. And 2 and 9... I was just wondering if I could even do 2 and 9, because I think the 3, 4, and 5 being gone might screw it up. But 2 and 9... No, 2 and 9 would have to go with 6. That's fine. Okay. But I do agree with Garian. Now there can't be a 1 down here because that's not enough. So there's a 1 up here, which makes these a 2, 3 pair, which makes these a 1, 4 pair, which makes that an 8, which makes these a 7, 9 pair, makes these over here be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, and 8. Let's see. 8 being on here seems rough. It would make one of those 9 for sure. Well, I know for sure there's never a 9 on here, because that would break this whisper. So the 9 is certainly somewhere. Yeah. So now let's just do the math on the 8. Where does the 8 go? The 8 now goes down here, Garian points out. And 2, 8, 9 is too many. So we can't do 2, 8, 9. So that's not the 9. And that is. And so 2, 8 needs to go with 6 or 7. And 1, 9 needs to go with 6 or 7. So there's a 6 or a 7 up here and a 6 or a 7 up here, or down here is the short version. Yeah, this is definitely not a 1, at the very least. If this was a 1, we know that this would have 1, 2, 3, 4 on it, and it would make this impossible. There wouldn't be digits far enough away. Okay, so actually, there's definitely a 1 or a 9 on here. Because this 2, 8 means that the only digit of this color that's left is on the whisper. So this definitely includes... so, yeah, one color gets completely wiped out. So we either have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be one option, in which case it would be 1, 8, 9 left, or the other way around. But basically, these are always from 1, 2, 8, 9, if you want the version of it. At least that's a version of it. Yeah, this is also from 1, 2, 8, 9. I know there's a 5 up here somewhere. I'm guessing I'm going to try and moosh the 5 over there eventually, which will tell me that that's an 8, but I'm a ways away from mooshing the 5. Let's see. So we might have a 9 here, in which case these two would sum to 7 or 8. Let's see. I don't... Can this be an 8? Maybe. Yeah, if this is an 8, then I need these two summing to 16 minus 8. I need these two summing to 8, which they could do as 2, 6. Sadly. I do know there's a 4 over here somewhere, for whatever that is worth. And a 3 down here somewhere. Is the problem if that's an 8? No. If this digit was a 4, it would have to be 4, 5, 6. But that doesn't feel remotely exciting. Yeah, the biggest this digit can be, I suppose, is a 7. Was trying to use our bonus rule somewhere. Yeah, there's definitely not a 1 on here. I agree with that. So this is certainly from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one is not 5, 6, or 8. Yeah, I don't think there can be a 2 on this renbon either. Oh, it's not even 2 by the rule, so I don't even have to think about that. But there can't be a 2 on here either. Because if this was 2, 3, 4, then I would need this to be the 1, but that doesn't work because that's 5 lows in the column. So there was a much better argument than the argument I gave, but we'll accept it. Neither of these cells can be 7. That's certainly true, because if either of these two was 7, then we would need the middle to be 3 or 4, and those are too far away. Right. If this is 3, it can't be 1, 2, 3. That breaks, as we already argued it's not 1, 2, 3, right? So, right. If there's a 3 on it, it's 3, 4, 5 is the version of it. And so the 3 is not in the middle. If there's a... And so, in fact, actually, there's just not a 3 on it. Because if there's a 3 on it, it's 3, 4, 5, except the middle can't be any of those. So now there's just no 3 on it. So if there's a 4 on it, it's 4, 5, 6. Right. Because this is 4 or 7, these are never 4. A couple people in chat point out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's always a 5 on it. Oh, sorry, I did the math wrong. You're right. Uh okay, if this is 876, then I need to have the 9 there. And Mekti points out that makes this region sum line sum to at most 15. Sorry, no, at most 12 even, because if we used 8769, then the most this could be is 543, which is nowhere near enough. So there's no 8 up here. So those are a 5-6 pair with a 4-7. Wonderful. And we actually know that the 6 is not with the 1, so the 6 is opposite the 4, for whatever that matters. It probably doesn't. Let's see. I'm being told this is quite limited. Let's see. It could be 1. It's not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it could be 7. Otherwise, it is 8 or 9. Yeah, so it could be 7, 9, 1. Or 1, 9, and a 6 or a 7. So this is always a 1, 6, or 7, I guess, is the version of that we can take away. 1 in box 8. Interesting. Could well be. Let's see. This I know sums to a minimum of 16. So if there's a 1 on it, it would have to go with a 7. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so Garion has the point. If this is a 7, then actually it makes this sum 17 by math and makes this sum 17 by sudoku. And I need 1 to be 16 and 1 to be 17. And so this is not a 7, it's a 1 with a 6 or a 7. That's not a 6 anymore for that reason. I do agree there's a 7 in this column. So this is a 7, a 9, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So yeah. So now could it have 1, 7, 8? Yeah, I certainly know there needs to be a 7, 8, 9 in here, right? If there's no 7, 8, 9, then the maximum sum is 15. So there's definitely a 7, 8, 9 in here. I don't think I'm quite getting there though, David. I think I'm still one short if I understand correctly. Let's see. Daniel says these can't be high. If these are high, then of course that's high. Yeah, okay. I think this is Daniel and David are working together to get me to understand this. If these two are high, then the 7 and 9 in the column go here and here. But that's too many high digits. If you look at it, because there's also a 6 floating around. So if these are high, then these are both high, and there's a 6. That's too many highs. So in fact, these are low. So this one is always a 7 or a 9. So the 8 is always in the middle row somewhere. Not there. So this is not an 8. There's never a 9 here, because that would make the thing too high. So that means this is the 9. We've actually placed the 9 now. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, or 7. Yeah, I don't know if I can do better than this immediately in this box. Yeah, I don't think it's helpful anymore. Low, low. One of these two is low. Whichever of these is low can't be a 4 anymore. Oh, okay. So the math of this works out. So if this is 5, 6, 7, then now the maximum I can make this is actually 8 plus 4 plus 3. And that is only 15. That doesn't work. So I can't actually use the 7. Basically, if I don't put the 7 here, I guess is maybe a better way to put it. If the 7 isn't on this line, now it's a maximum of 8, 4, 3, which is too big. So that's a 7 and that's a 4, which makes that a 9. That is not a 9 either. So the 9 in the column is placed. It's there. Those are 1, 2, 3. These aren't. That's not a 9. Because remember, there's no 9 on this Renbon, because then it would have 9, 8, 7, 6, which would break the German whispers. So this is a 2, 3, and an 8. But 3 is too big. If you look at it. So it's a 1 or a 2 with a 7 and an 8. And so there's definitely a 3 down here for what it's worth. Yeah, I think I can argue that without it being case checky, Emma. If one of these is a 1, what Emma is really arguing is then I'm doomed no matter which way I put the 5, 6, because I know one of these is a 1. And so I can't have sort of an X-wing of ones laid out like this without breaking the 6. Very, very good spot from Emma there. So no 8 there, no 3 there. Okay, so this isn't a 1 either. Okay, so this is a 2-8. Going with a 2-8 or a 7, right? Can't be 3 because there's a 3 in the row. Ah, yes, yes, yes. This C's a 2-8 pair. Yes, that's a very good point. So that's a 1, which seems to make that an 8, which seems to make that a 2, seems to make that a 2. Unfortunately, now the Renbon doesn't do anything. That's not the 5, and neither of those is the 5. So one of these two is the 5, because the 5 can't touch the 2. Oh, people want me to do math. I don't know. It seems a little messy, but I guess we can say this sums to 17. So that's 8. And so these are 7, 9, which makes that a 6. That's not an 8. These are 1, 2, 3, 8, just for the record. These are the other digits in the box. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's not an 8. That one's not a 2 because it can't go next to a 5. These are there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, not 5. Sorry. 6, 7, 8, and 9. And these are... okay, we're going to get rid of all these corner marks, by the way, because it's starting to drive me nuts. Okay, these are 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then 8 and 9. And that one's not a 5, we already said. Garion points out the 5 is just outright placed in this box by virtue of the fact that it can't go next to a 2. So that's a 5, which makes that an 8, and that a 2 by the negative constraint, which makes that a 6, and that a 5, which makes that a 4, and that a 1. And so that spot actually sorts out all of this nonsense. And now where does the 4 go in row 9? Only here, owing to my previous corner mark. So that's a 4 and a 5. So that's not a 3, and that's not a 2. That is a 5. These aren't 6 or 9. So that is 6, and that's 9, and that's 4, and that's 6, 7, and 9, 8, and 7. The 5 goes in over there. No 7 over here. Okay, that's a 5 now. By virtue of that. Oops. And I just hit a random 5 for no reason. Let's see. What is left in this row? We still need a 2 and a 3. No, not a 2. Sorry. We need a 3 and a 4. Oh, well, I know where the 4 goes, actually. So these are a 3, and that one's the one that's the 3, actually. And a 6, which goes there. Let's see. What about this row? 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 is just placed there. 6 is placed there by the negative constraint, and 7 there. So that's a 2, 8, 7. That is not an 8. That's not a 6. Let's see what's left in this row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We know that's not a 9. That one's not a 3 owing to the next to itness of that digit. I know one of these two is a 3 for whatever it's worth. Let's see. This is a pair that I can probably resolve. It's a 1 and a 2. Yeah, so that's the 2 and that's the 1, so that's a 2. This is a 3, Jayla points out, because it can't go next to a 6. This can't be a 1 because it can't go next to a 6. This column needs a 4, and it's placed just by sudoku there. This is now 3, 6, or 7, except it's not 3, and it's not 7, so this is just a 6, which gives me the 3 and the 7. Gives me the 8 and the 1, owing to that negative constraint. Let's see. In this column, we still need a 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gives us the 1, the 7, and the 3. It gives us the 2 and the 1, the 8 and the 1. It's an 8. It's a 4. That's a 2. Very cute. Yeah, I'm glad someone in chat was there to notice that there was a rule in the puzzle that I missed. But yes, very, very nice puzzle there. I think that was Nicolas Duhail's first puzzle. Yeah, I'd previously done a couple puzzles with like an anti-V rule. This probably is actually slightly more interesting, the anti-7 rule, because there's 3 ways to make 7 that you rule out. And 7 is a nicely asymmetric number to call out, rather than like anti-10, I think is a little too symmetric. It works too nicely with the digits 1 through 9, and you actually want things asymmetric, not symmetric, because ultimately your grid has to be asymmetric. So anyway, I think this is a good idea for a rule and a good puzzle. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick stretch, and I'll be right back with another puzzle in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's have a look at this arrow entropic puzzle by Matt Tressel. At least I think it's Matt Tressel, right? It just says Matt. Let's see. What does it say on LMD? Oh no, this is Matthias Human is their full name. Sorry, different Matt than our usual Matt, but let's have a look. This looks nice. We have entropic lines where every 3 digits along an entropic line need to have 1 of 1, 2, 3, 1 of 4, 5, 6, and 1 of 7, 8, 9. So for example, these are the same high, mid, lowity, whatever that is, and I'm just going to continue percolating that along. In fact, all 3 of those are the same, and that one is also that. Purple, purple. Green, green, green. Now, part of the reason why I looked at that is that I saw that there were going to be 2 of the same in here. And I can't make this arrow work without 2 of 1, 2, 3. So 2 of these are definitely from 1, 2, 3. So therefore, definitely we have this. All VIIs are given. Very good. So I know this isn't 1, 2, 3. And so David has a good point, which is that these therefore aren't yellow because there's only 3 yellows in the row. So these are both yellow. And that is also yellow, just sort of continuationing the thing. And now none of these are yellow. And so that cell is also yellow. Just by virtue of what we have to do. Now, Garion is pointing out that if this is 6, it doesn't work because then we'd need all of these to be 1, 2, 3, whereas we actually know, here's a different way to say it, one of these is low because we know yellow isn't low. That's the one thing we know about yellow. So one of these is low. So this actually is at least 7, which means it's high. Which means that this arrow needs a 4, 5, 6 on it, which means, in fact, this is high. So we can actually replace our yellows with oranges for high, and we can also high that cell. Maybe not the best contrast. I'm actually going to leave the high as yellow, just for sanity. Okay, so this is not blue, if you look at it. Oh, I guess now I'm in the weird position where I know that this is middle, right? This is 4, 5, 6, but I don't know what color that is yet. Yeah, Emma is noticing none of these cells are yellow, so I need 2 more yellows, and ergo this cell is yellow. And one of these 2 is yellow, and ergo this cell isn't yellow, so it is purple or green, and I can propagate this purple or green across the line like that. Row 6, column 8 isn't yellow because that would put a... Oh, right. I guess you're saying I can green, purple, all of these is what you're saying. And green, purple, all of these. And therefore I can propagate that green, purple, or I can just actually say, well, I need one of these 3 to be yellow, so it's that one. And so that green, purple is all of these. That yellow I can chase back to here. I can chase it forward to here. Like that. Okay, these 2 are the same thing. If you look at it, and that thing isn't yellow because it would put too many yellows in the column. So those aren't yellow. So now I need 2 more yellows because this isn't yellow and this isn't yellow either. I need 2 more yellows in this row, and so therefore these are both yellow. Which is going to propagate with that yellow. And these aren't yellow. So one of these 2 is yellow. We'll respread it once we know more. Okay, so this is certainly not yellow because it's got a digit in its sum that is more than yellow. This could be medium, medium. That would be okay. One of these two is yellow. Do I know which one yet? Oh, right. Sorry. I know that yellow is high. Right. Sorry. I'd forgotten I know what yellow was. I guess got into coloring mode. You know how it is. This is high. So therefore this is high and this is low. This is 1, 2, 3. I guess maybe I shouldn't color it. It's not yellow though. Uh, oh, it's 1, 2, right? It's even 1, 2. Oh, I'm being told by column 6 it's pink. Right. I know one of these two is green, and so that's the last green in the column, so this is pink. Good. This is an 8, 9. This is a 7, 8 for what it's worth. Oh, right. I know that I have all the yellows in this column, so these are purple, green. This is the last yellow in column 8, Jaleb points out. Yeah, this is certainly never yellow because it's on a sum to an arrow that sums to less than yellow. Right. Green we now know is mid, and so because we knew this cell was mid, we now know it is green. Right. So basically, what Garion is saying is that these are a green purple pair, these are a green purple pair, and so this cell is purple because we need these to be a green purple pair. So we can say that therefore is purple, and therefore we can green this cell, and then we can propagate that forward. So this is purple, this is green, this is purple. This is green, and this is purple. Okay, and that's 3 purples in the row, so this is not purple. This is green, so this is purple. This is green, and this is purple. Oops, I did that wrong. This is purple, like that. Okay, so these are now a yellow-green pair. Which is all the yellows, because one of those is yellow, and that's 2 more yellows. So this is green or purple only. Oh, I see. Emma's pointing out that these are all the same color, and that color can only be pink because we see a yellow and a green in the row. Yeah, I probably should have used a 6th color to sort of subcolor this line, but yeah, the good point that all of these now have to be pink, and so this isn't. This is definitely one of those times where I wish I'd colored in a slightly less coherent way. I think I tried too hard to make the coloring nice, and I think it would have been a little bit nicer if I'd done otherwise. uh, I colored row 7, column 4 wrong. Oh, I did color row 7, column 4 wrong. You're right. Sorry, this is not purple. So this is not purple either. This is green. This, therefore, is not green because green is middle. It's purple. So we are also coloring this line. So that's not purple. It's green. That's not purple. It's green. That's not purple. It's green. And that's not green. So these are yellow-green for whatever that is worth. This is only 1 or 2 also. Oh, right. We have all the oinks in box 9, so no more oinks there. So that's green. And I know one of these is green just by counting. So that's all the greens in the column. So neither of these is green. Those are both low. And so this isn't low because I now know where all the lows are in this box because I know 2 lows are on the arrow. That's all the pinks or oinks in this row, so that's not oink, and so that is. So these are a yellow-green pair. Oh, these are also yellow-green. So actually, I just have a naked triple in box 7 because I actually know the oinks can only go in these 3 cells. So this isn't oink anymore. These are yellow-green. So these are oink. This is yellow-green. These are yellow-green. This is oink. Okay, well, that helped a good bit. Okay, we've got all the oinks over here. So that is my mid. So that's the last oink on the arrow. Oh, in column 2, I've got all the greens. So this is not green, and so this is, which gives me all the greens in this row. So that's not green. Yeah, only one of these is yellow, points out Emma. So where am I putting the other 2 yellows in column 4? This has to be the other one. I suppose the other way of doing it is to note that we've got 3 greens in this box, so neither of these is green. But I liked Emma's way better. It felt more artful. Let's see. Oh, right. These are a yellow-green pair, and Garion points out we definitely know which order they go in because yellow is bigger than green. Okay, so that's all the greens for this row. So that's all the yellows for this box. Okay, that's all the yellows for this column. So that can't be yellow for sure. So that's the yellow. That's the purple. That's all the purples for the row. So this is green. That's all the greens for the row. So this is yellow. That's all the yellows for the box. So this is green. I colored box 9 wrong. Oh, oops. 1 moment. That's yellow. So that isn't yellow. Got gotten by that that weird thing again. Okay. Did that break everything that I did thereafter? It looks like it did. Oh, no, I do still have all the yellows in column 1. That's still true. Okay, so yeah, so those are green, which means this is not yellow, so that is. And so this is purple, so that isn't. And this is, let's see, that's not green anymore because we've got all the greens. That's a yellow. In the column, let's see, this column has all the yellows and purples, so that's a green. That's all the greens for the box, so now this is purple. Let's see, that's all the yellows for the row. So this is green. And there we go. A very nice puzzle there. I suppose I should probably start doing some things like there's definitely a 3 over here, because if there's not, then this would also be purple. So this is only a 1 or a 2. So one of these is a 3 for the column. So this is a 1 or a 2. Let's see. One of these 2 is 3. Yeah, so one of these 2 is 3, I guess, is the what I'm going for there. This is certainly 1 or 2. This is 4 or 5. This is 5 or 6, just by virtue of this arrow. I did that backwards. This is 5 or 6. This is 4 or 5. It's probably a little bit better. Oh, this is 4 or 5, by the way. For whatever that is worth. Yeah, we can start ketchuping. That 1, 2, I know is that 1, 2. And I also know it's that 1, 2. Owing to row 1. Yeah, Garion wants me to also color this for 5 and put it there. I guess that at least tells me that this is a 2 or a 3, right? It's not a 1, because 1 wouldn't get me to a yellow. And that's a 4-5 pair, so that's a 6. So that is a 4 or a 5, and that's a 4 or a 5. Right, this is only from 7, 8. And so this is from 7, 8, and so AFK points out that gives me a 7, 8 pair in this column, and so it places the 9. I agree. One of these is definitely a 9, but I don't think that tells me very much. I know this is a 7, 8, just by virtue of that over there. Yeah, I know one of these 2 is a 6. I'm trying to see if there's some sudoku thing in this column with the fact that that's not a 6. So I know one of these two is a 6. But if there is, it's a little bit beyond me. Uh, hmm. Can subcolor the 4 5s. Yeah, we could do that. Let's do that. Do we know anything from there, or is that not the right place to start coloring them? Okay, I do know that this one shows up over here somewhere, so it's that one. And so it's that one. Maybe I'll make these X's just to make it a little bit easier to understand what's going on here. That's the other one. And so that's a 6. There we go. That is a... Is that a skyscraper or something? I feel like that's a classic setup somehow, because this sees both of these. Anyway, that's 6. So this is the orange X. This is the red X. So this is a 6. The orange X and the red X. This is the red X. This is the red X. Let's see. This is the orange X, just by Sudoku into box 5. So this is the red X. So this is the 6. So this is the orange X by the row. So now this is the 6. This is the red X. So that's the 6. This is the orange X. Okay. Oh, 6 is placed here. Good. So that's orange X. I don't think I know anything other than this one of these two, right? This did at least place a bunch of 6s. It's been proposed to orange O this cell and chase it around the grid. So I know that's orange O. I know that's orange O. I know that's orange O. I don't think that quite gets me anywhere. Oh, it does. It does. Orange O in column 7 is placed because it's not there or there. JLo points out, so that's orange O. Uh, why can't it be 5 plus 2, Chad? Row 6, column 9? Oh, you just mean like I can give this a new color? Okay, we'll go blue circle, I suppose, is there. And there. And there, because blue circle we know is different from orange circle. And there. And we can put a box around the other one whenever we see the other one. This is the other one. So I think H-Had's point can be framed as these two circles are different. Because we know the sums are different. Which seems almost helpful. Oh yeah, this is the box. Correct. And in particular, this one's bigger than that one. But I can't quite manage to tie this together. Let's see. D says if this is a 2, then row 9 column 1 would be a 6. So if this is a 2, that would have to be a 1. This box 2, column 1 would be 5, right? Oh, it's bouncing through this. Okay, so yeah, so if, so yeah, it's to do with the fact that these are a 4-5 pair. And so it's not that I don't see it. I'm trying to figure out how to say it in a way that I don't feel shame about. Like I agree with the argument. I'm just trying to say it. I'm trying to figure out what the coherent way to say this is. That that makes me feel better about it. It's possible there's not a nice way, and it is just kind of messy. But this is a long chain that goes through multiple arrows, which is why I'm trying to avoid it. And I suspect I'm leaning towards I think there's an elegant way to see it, but I don't see it. But I bet there's a nice way to phrase it that but anyway, the point is that this being too oh, let's see. Okay, so maybe the answer is to let this be pink circle, and so that's pink circle. Is that going to help? I'm not sure if that's going to help though. Sadly, I don't know that just coloring more helped. Sadly, yep. I mean, you can. My claim is just that's ugly. And I would like to have a way that's not ugly, but I don't think there is one that I am going to find. So I think I'm probably just going to accept it that this can't be 2. But I would. I'm curious if someone sees a better way. Definitely let me know. I mean, it's just a long look ahead that is not particularly nice by my standards. But as I said, I don't like proving things by contradiction when I can avoid it. But it does break if this is a 2, just not in a way that I find satisfying. But I don't think it's necessarily the case that the setter didn't have a nice way of seeing it. I think the setter could very well have had a nice way of seeing it. I just don't see what it is at the moment. Okay, so we get some 3s. Do the 3s even do anything? Is the next question, I suppose. Yeah, row 8, 3 now has to go there. So these we know are 2. Like it felt really nice to have these 2 being known to be different, but I couldn't figure out how to use it. But I felt like that was probably the nice solution, involved noting that and somehow manipulating that, but I could not get there. Uh, yeah, I don't really see a nice thing to do from here either. Like this would let me start chasing some more 1-2s a little bit, but not in a way that even looks productive, honestly. Like this one is the same as that one. Uh it's pretty grim. Uh on the bright side, this suggests that the look ahead wasn't the intended step. Uh because it did not actually crack the puzzle. I was trying to see if there was like some algebra we could do with these, but I don't think there is. I think there's sort of two worlds, and I think they both probably are fine. Uh, hmm. I keep trying to make something break around here, but I don't think anything does that I can see. Yeah, I might have to give up on the end of this. The I really liked the beginning. It felt like this was going to line up really nicely. I'm just very I don't see what to do to resolve this. Uh I guess I know that this is blue box. Uh I don't think that's going to be what cracks it, but I do think this is blue box. Uh yeah, I was thinking like maybe we're supposed to do the thing where we know that if orange 4-5 is on an arrow, then we could sort of replace it with these two things, but orange 4-5 isn't actually on the arrow, it's red 4-5 that's on the arrow. I mean, here's a ridiculous thing. That digit's not 4 because one of these two is 4 and this digit sees both of them. In fact, I guess that digit just is that digit, which is either 6 or orange X, depending. If we can, I'm not sure how. It would be a reasonable thing to try to do. I think legitimate businessman means something about these orange circles, whether they are the same or different, uh, or yellow circles. Sorry. Uh, I do know that these two are the same. I just don't know which the same they are. Uh, yeah, we could introduce a new subcoloring scheme, and chase this 7-8 through here. Uh, yeah, these two are different, which feels like the kind of thing that could be useful, but I don't see how it is presently useful. Uh, let's see. Is there some way I can like recontextualize this into knowing which thing they are? Because they both show up in this column. It's through column 5 is how these machinations end up working. Uh, but we don't sort of like have any sort of pair of things. Like we know that gray isn't blue circle, and we know that black isn't orange circle, but that's not strictly speaking helpful. Hmm. Yeah, I like the idea, but I don't. And sadly, I don't think it relates to this one either. So we don't really have blue square related with either of these things. Uh, yeah, we can try the other 1-2 pairs. Let's see. So we've got like that can be the blue 1-2, and this can be the brown 1-2. So that's the brown 1-2. That's the blue 1-2. So that's a 3. Okay, well, it at least got us a digit if I did it correctly. So that's a 3. So this is the blue 1-2. This is the brown 1-2, and that's a 3, which makes that a 3. Which makes that a 3. This is brown 1-2. This is blue 1-2. So red circle is brown 1-2 if we want to go back and do it. Like that. Oh yeah, this is the last 3. This can't be. Oh, sorry, no, that can't be 1 anymore. Yeah, we already knew this was 4, 5. This is 1 or 2. Yeah, we can finish the 1-2s, I suppose. Sorry, this one is also brown. So this one is blue. That one's blue. This one's blue and brown. Brown. That one's brown and blue. And blue. That might be all of them now. If brown is 1... No, never mind, sorry. No, it's if brown is... No, never mind, sorry. We certainly know this isn't 7 anymore. Row 7, column 4, and row 4, column 7 would both have to be 4 if brown was 2. I agree with that. Yeah, so if it's not beautiful, but I'll take it at this point. If brown is 2, both of these things become 4. This one becomes 4 to not overflow that area, and this one becomes 4 to not overflow that arrow, except now we have created this this problem. So this is in fact 1. Oh, that's also 1. And then these are 2. And so that's 1, and I didn't include it. Somehow I'm missing a 2. Where's the 2 I'm missing? There we go. That's a 2. Okay, so now orange is 5 by math. So x is 4 by sudoku. So that's a 5 by math. So that's a 6 and a 5 and a 6. Okay. That's a 9. So 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 that's a 9. Someone has seen a 4 plus 3 equals 7 somewhere. I don't see it. I do see it. 4 plus 3 is 7, I see. So that's a 7, that's a 7, that's an 8, that's an 8, that's a 9. That's a 7. I'm not sure that this notation system was completely optimal. That's an 8, that's a 9, that's an 8. That's a 7 and an 8, and a 7, and an 8, and a 7, 7, 8, 7. There's an 8 left somewhere. Ah, there we go. The beginning was good. The end, the way we did it, was pretty bad. But I think if we had done the ending by just fully committing to subcoloring in the right way, I think it might have been a lot smoother. Like, I think we subcolored the wrong constellation of 1-2s to begin with, and it made the solve path messier. Like, there were no steps that, like, once I knew the proper subcoloring, that I objected to. Like, we got this thing with the 3s, but that pretty clearly wasn't part of the intended solve path, because we did it and it didn't do anything. So, like, the thing definitely was the blue-brown coloring. I think we might have just lucked upon the wrong place, and then I was resistant to coloring I was resistant to having multiple layers of subcoloring floating around, when I think it would have turned out one layer of subcoloring would have sufficed if we'd chosen the correct layer of subcoloring. And then, like, we hit the sort of the mark point where I was just sort of like, I don't want to think about this anymore. So by the time we actually got there, it sort of felt overwhelming. But I think probably it was very nice if you took the right path through it. I'm not sure if it should have been clear to me that we should have subcolored the other ones first. It's possible it would have been clearer the other way. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's multifaceted stream. We did 3 different things, which is unusual for one of our streams, but what can you do? Let's see. I was going to select all the 1s and get rid of the brown, and select all the 2s and add blue and get rid of it. Oh, and the 7s and the 8s, I should also add black and get rid of it, and gray and get rid of it. There we go. Much better. Oh, and there's a random circle up there hiding on the 3. It thought I wouldn't see it, but there it was. Anyway, huge thank you to everyone for hanging out. Do please give the stream a like if you have not already done so, and consider supporting the stream if you have it in your heart to do. Heart and wallet, I suppose. Oh, there's a blue square. No, not the blue square. That was an extra sneaky blue square. And we'll see you soon. We'll continue posting our Let's Plays and our invitations to puzzles, as we have been doing. And Tristan will be back with a stream on Thursday, and next Sunday I should be back with what will hopefully be a more sane stream. I mean, not to complain about the, getting the CTC feature. If there's a CTC feature, great. But what will probably be more sane, plus I'll be a little bit more into the swing of the semester by then, so my brain will probably be less jet-lagged. But thank you, everyone, for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. And last but not least, thank you to the Turbines, Daniel, David, Franco, Nell, Nordy, Plonktime, and Tyson. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.